Alright, let's move on to the next phase. You'll see I changed a little bit. We're going to have 3 phases for our matching headings. The first phase is what we just did, check the first sentence. Now the second phase, you're going to do maybe 3 or 4 things. The main thing about this phase is skimming the paragraphs. You're going to quickly run your eyes, read quite quickly through the paragraphs which remain, looking for some specific things. In this phase, we want things that jump out and grab our eyes. You're not doing detailed reading yet. Please don't do detailed reading. I always tell students to skim and then I see they're reading in detail. Something must grab your eyes. You are looking for things like linking or structural language. This will grab your eyes. You will see it says firstly, secondly, thirdly, things like that. In the end, at the beginning, as a result. Another good one for this is 3 factors or 4 advantages or 5 of these, and you know they're introducing a list. Then, as we've seen in the reading that we're doing at the moment about trees, some paragraphs and some headings have got a positive or a negative feeling, and you're going to assign a positive or negative feeling to those paragraphs and headings and then just check and see if they can match up. Next, do the tenses tell you anything? Sometimes a heading is talking about the future and a paragraph is just past tense, so then you know that it doesn't match up. Sometimes you can get information from the tenses. Then you're going to notice a few words. You will notice the familiar words, the words that you know, basic words like tree or dog or food. Notice those and don't underline them, but just see if they get repeated throughout 3 or 4 times in the paragraph, because often repetition is a good indication of a topic of a paragraph. So let's go and skim. We're going to just do these 4 things and see if any of these 4 things help us. Remember, we are skimming, we are not reading. Right, in this first one, the trees are incredibly important ecologically. Immediately I see some linking language. That is structural language. That's the same as saying firstly. So they sustain other species. I do remember seeing species in the headings. Remember, often in English, ends of the sentences, about 70% of sentences, I would say, the important information is at the end. They provide shelter. So they sustain the species, they provide shelter. Their branches become gardens hung with. This sort of thing, for matching headings, ignore it. It's examples. Don't look at the examples in the matching headings. Vast amounts of energy. This is words that I recognize. These can be important. This is structural language. Reference pronouns. All right. So, what do we see? We see a bit of linking language. It's giving us a list of the ways that big trees are important. Definitely we've got a positive feeling for this. I didn't see anything about the tenses. There's nothing about tenses here. But I do see some familiar words which are repeated. Can you see it? Animals and animals. That you all know animals and you see it twice. So animals is important here. But maybe we can extend that. Animals are species. Then they're also talking about fruits and flowers and foliage. This is all plants and animals. But anyway, we know we've got a list of ways that big trees help the environment, and we know we're looking for animals, species, energy. And we know we're looking for something positive. Harms trees? No. How other plants cause harm? No. Which big... I like that because of that word species. Negative. Measures, this is neutral. It's not positive or negative. It's just ways. Benefits, wildlife, animals. I like that. Again, ways. It's not positive or negative. It's neutral. That's positive, but I didn't see anything about significant heights. I like these 2. That one and that one. So now you need to examine those a bit more detail. This, we're close enough. Now you can focus on this. Are we really looking at how the wildlife benefits from the trees? That means how does the tree help the wildlife, or which trees support the species? the most diverse species. Didn't see that. I didn't see which trees. They didn't say the names of trees. So with this one, it's a deliberate attempt by IELTS to trick you. It's a false heading. That one is the one that I can quite confidently go for. How the wildlife benefits from the trees. We can check that. The trees provide shelter. The trees capture energy, which allows them to make food for the animals. So I think just from skimming, a bit of linking language and a positive feeling, this is a positive paragraph, some familiar words were repeated, you could narrow that one down to this. And with your pencil, do a soft line, maybe through this one, because I'm quite sure that's a trick. But let's leave it for now. Next, remember we're just skimming. Small number of trees, the capacity to grow big. We can read that because we've read it before. The mightiest, but, notice the but. It's good structural language. No. A tree needs 3 things, very important. There is some very important structural language. 1, 2, 3. All right. Disrupt any of these. Reference pronoun. Disrupt any of these. What are these? These are these 3 things, and you can lose your trees. So this paragraph is really about the trees growing big. Big there, giant there. And it's about these 3 things. Can we find anything of that? Harms, no. It's not positive, it's not neutral, or negative. It's kind of neutral. It's just what the tree needs. It needs 3 things. Which, no. Prevent further decline, no. Industry products, and there it is. Factors that enable trees to grow to significant heights. A tree needs 3 things. Enable is a good word to know. It needs this factor, and this factor. So in this one, it's not positive or negative, it's kind of neutral, but this is very important structural language which should help you. So I'm confident enough to go for that one. Okay, so it's looking quite good now. Our skimming has helped us. Often the first 2 paragraphs aren't so easy, so be careful. But these ones, they were possible. Right. Now remember the trees we wanted something about seedlings cannot survive or grow. This is negative, dwindling, getting less. Here's an example. It's a structural language. There's something about a type of shrub. It grows thickly. There's seedlings. Australia. Okay, I don't see much here. Super hot fires. Mortality is negative. Okay, there's not much that I can see. I see some kind of example here, and I see negative, but I don't think it's enough, so I think I'm going to skip it. Deforestation, other plants, maybe. Diverse species, I don't like that one. Impact, no. Measures, no. Okay, I'm going to skip that one. We've done this one. The Clarks means tropical forests would shrink over time. The largest, do you see anything? Notice these, this is kind of structural language, a colon. So you want to attach destabilization of the climate. But again, nothing. My skimming doesn't produce anything. Big trees face threats from elsewhere, the most serious. In North America, Siberia, tropical forests, in the Amazon. So they're giving lots of examples here. North America, Siberia, Amazon. And then this could be important. 2 reasons. Remember, it's the same as 3 things. 2 reasons. What are these 2 reasons? First, that's structural language. And second is over there. So what are these? What is this? The mortality rate for the biggest trees tripled in small patches. Mortality is down here. They give it you the number of deaths within a particular group. So it's very negative. Okay, so didn't help us much. But we got, yes, that. So phase 2 gave us 2, really. And then phase 3 is going to be our detailed reading, where we're going to read just that 1, 2, and 3. We're just going to do detailed reading for 3 of them. So just to repeat, let's look at our list again. We saw some linking or structural language. It kind of helped us. It helped us with paragraph B, yes. Positive or negative definitely helped us in this reading. It doesn't always. Tenses told us nothing. Familiar words which were repeated maybe told us a little bit. Right, so just to repeat, skimming means things that grab your eyes. I'll add another one here. Sometimes numbers or dates, sometimes you have a whole paragraph that's about numbers or dates. Again, nothing here. Alright, that's enough for skimming. Let's move on to phase 3, which is our detailed readings of the problem paragraphs.